There is a particular kind of tired that has nothing to do with being sleepy. It is the tired that hits you when you walk into your own kitchen on a Tuesday morning, coffee in hand, and you look around and think, how does it get like this so fast? The counter has crumbs from yesterday. There's a dish sitting in the sink that was supposed to be just soaking. The mail you meant to sort is still in a little pile by the toaster, and there are 3 folded dish towels on the chair because you ran out of room in the drawer and you just put them there temporarily 2 weeks ago. You did not make a mess. You did not neglect your home. You have been busy living in it. And somehow that is the thing no one tells you, that living in a house and keeping a house can feel like 2 completely different jobs if you are not careful about how you approach them. I used to spend entire Saturdays cleaning. I would get up with purpose, put on my old shoes and just go at it. The bathroom, the floors, the kitchen, dusting all the shelves. 3 hours, sometimes 4. And by Sunday, the house already looked like I had not bothered at all. I could not understand it. I thought I was doing something wrong. I thought I just needed to clean faster or better or more thoroughly. But that was never the problem. The problem was not the cleaning. The problem was the way I was thinking about cleaning. I was treating it like a project, like something to complete. And a house is not a project. A house is a living thing. It needs tending every day in small, small ways. I am Margaret, I'm 72, and in this video I'm going to share the 9 daily cleaning rules that completely changed how my home feels and how I feel inside of it. The first rule is this: make your bed the moment your feet hit the floor. I know, you have heard this before. Everyone has heard this. And for years I did it occasionally, skipped it when I was rushed, told myself it did not really matter because no one was going to see it. It is just a bed. It just gets unmade again tonight. What is the point? Here's the point. Your bedroom is the first room you see in the morning and the last room you see at night. When that bed is made, the whole room feels intentional. It feels cared for. It sets a tone in your mind without you even realizing it that says, this space is being tended. And that feeling carries forward into the rest of your day in ways that are quiet but real. I spent years leaving my bed unmade. After Robert passed, I will be honest with you, some mornings I did not make it for days. The house felt very empty, and making the bed felt like a strange, lonely act. But eventually I started doing it again, not because I had to, but because I noticed how different the room felt when I did. Calmer, more like mine. I started doing it every single morning without exception, and now it takes me about 4 minutes and I do not think twice about it. The practical instruction is simple. Make it the first thing you do, before coffee, before checking your phone, before anything. Do it while you are still in that just awake mode, and it costs you almost nothing. 4 minutes, that is all. The bed is made, the room is calm, and you are already one good thing into your day. The second rule is, wipe your kitchen counters every single morning, no exceptions. The kitchen counter is where everything lands. The mail, the keys, the medication bottles, the grocery bags, the leftover napkins from takeout, and the crumbs. The crumbs from toast and crackers and cutting things and measuring things and all the ordinary small acts of feeding yourself. They accumulate silently and quickly, and before long, you're not really looking at your counter anymore. You are just looking past it. A clean counter changes the entire energy of a kitchen. I am completely convinced of this. When my counter is clear and wiped down, I want to cook. I feel capable in that kitchen. When it is cluttered and crumb-covered, I feel behind before the day is even started. What I do now is this. Every morning, right after I make my coffee, I take a damp cloth and wipe the counters. I move things aside, wipe underneath them, and put them back. The whole thing takes about 6 minutes. If there are dishes in the sink from the night before, I rinse them and put them in the drying rack at the same time. The kitchen is reset, it feels ready, and I feel ready. The third rule is one I feel strongly about. Deal with clutter in the moment, not later. We all do the later habit. You set something down because your hands are full, or you are in a hurry, or you just do not feel like dealing with it right now. You tell yourself you will put it away properly later. And then later does not come because something else comes instead. And that one thing becomes 2 things and 3 things, and suddenly you have a cluttered surface you do not even see anymore because you have gone blind to it. This was one of the hardest habits for me to change because it required me to accept something uncomfortable. I was not putting things away later. I never was. I was just moving the problem forward in time until it became a problem I no longer recognized as something I had created. My daughter-in-law Yuki, who is from Osaka and who handles her home with a kind of calm efficiency I find genuinely remarkable, once said something to me that I think about often. She told me that in her view, the moment you touch something is the cheapest moment to deal with it. After that, it gets more expensive in time, in energy, in the mental weight of knowing it is still sitting there. That landed hard because she was right. Now, when I bring something into the house, I take it where it belongs immediately. The grocery bag goes directly into the cabinet. The piece of mail gets sorted on the spot, into the trash, into the bill pile, or into the filing folder. The jacket goes on the hook. It adds perhaps 40 seconds to each task, but it saves me 30 minutes on Friday when I would otherwise be putting everything away that accumulated since Monday. The fourth rule is to sweep or vacuum your main living areas every day. Every day feels like a lot, I know. It felt like a lot to me too. But here's what I learned. A 5-minute sweep of your kitchen floor and your main walking areas is not the same thing as a deep vacuuming session. You're not moving furniture. You're not doing baseboards. You're simply addressing what came in from the day before. The crumbs, the dust, the tracked-in debris from shoes. When I was still doing my big Saturday cleaning routine, my floors would get truly dirty before I got to them. I was cleaning around a week's worth of buildup. That is hard work. It takes real effort and real time. But if you sweep for 5 minutes every day, you are never dealing with buildup. You are just lightly tidying what is already a fairly clean surface. I keep my broom and a small handheld vacuum in the kitchen, visible, accessible, no hunting required. That matters more than people think. If the broom is in the closet behind the mops and the extra paper towels, you will talk yourself out of using it. Friction is the enemy of good habits. Remove the friction. The broom lives where I can reach it in 2 steps, and that is why it actually gets used. The 5th rule, clean your bathroom sink and toilet every single day. I want to be very specific here. because I do not mean a deep scrub. I do not mean cleaning grout or scrubbing walls. I mean taking a disinfecting wipe or a damp cloth with a little cleaner and wiping down the sink bowl, the faucet handles, and the toilet lid and seat. That is it. The whole thing takes under 3 minutes. Why every day? Because the bathroom is the room in the house that goes from fine to unacceptable the fastest. And once it starts to feel unacceptable, there is a part of your brain that dreads going in there, which means you avoid dealing with it, which means it gets worse. It is a cycle, and breaking it is very simple once you decide to. I keep my cleaning wipes on the back of the toilet tank, right there in plain sight, completely ready. Each morning after I have washed my face and brushed my teeth, I pull out 1 or 2 wipes and I go over the sink and the toilet. The countertop too, if I see anything on it. It is the last thing I do in the bathroom and the first way I care for that room. The bathroom in my house now is the calmest and most consistently clean it has ever been in my entire adult life, because I deal with it before it ever becomes a problem. Now here's a question I would love for you to answer in the comments. Before you found a routine that worked for you, which room in your house gave you the most trouble? For me, it was the kitchen, but I have a feeling I am not alone. Tell me below. The 6th rule, do 1 load of laundry from start to finish. Not start it and leave it wet in the machine, not dry it and leave it in the dryer for 4 days. Start to finish. Wash, dry, fold or hang, put away. 1 complete cycle. The pile of unfolded laundry sitting in the basket is one of the most demoralizing sights in a home. You know what I'm talking about. You are not wearing those clothes because they are sitting there waiting. You are re-washing things that were clean because they sat too long. The task has ballooned from something manageable into something you resent. I do 1 load every single day. Sometimes it's a small load, just towels and dishcloths and a few things from the week. Sometimes it's a full load of clothes, but it gets done, all the way done. And because I do it daily, it never piles up into a mountain. There is no laundry day anxiety. There is just laundry handled as a quiet part of the day. I fold while I watch my afternoon program, and it feels like almost nothing at all. The 7th rule is one that took me longest to embrace. Do the dishes before you go to bed, every night, without exception. I used to leave dishes in the sink overnight, particularly when I had a long day and I was tired and I just did not have the energy after dinner. And I would tell myself that future Margaret would deal with it in the morning. But future Margaret, which is to say morning Margaret, would walk into the kitchen wanting coffee and peace. And instead, she would be greeted by last night's dinner still sitting there in the sink. It started the day with something undone, something already owed. Doing the dishes at night is not really about the dishes. It is about who you want to be in the morning. It is about giving your morning self a clean, quiet kitchen to begin the day in. It costs you perhaps 10 minutes before bed, but the return on that 10 minutes is enormous. You wake up to a kitchen that is ready for you instead of waiting on you. I sometimes stand at the sink in the evening and I think about how simple this one habit is. Rinse the plates, wash the pots, wipe the stove. The kitchen goes to bed clean. And in the morning, when I walk in and it is quiet and clear and the counters are bare and the sink is empty, I feel something I can only describe as peaceful. That feeling is worth every minute. The 8th rule: do a 5-minute evening reset of your main living area. Before you sit down for the evening, before you turn on the television or pick up your book, take 5 minutes and walk through your main living space. Put things back where they belong. Fluff the pillows on the sofa. Take any cups or glasses back to the kitchen. Fold the throw blanket. Pick up any papers or mail that wandered onto the coffee table. 5 minutes. Set a timer the first few times if you do not believe me. You will be surprised how much a 5-minute sweep actually accomplishes. What this does is create a clear, settled space for your evening. And it means that when you wake up tomorrow, your living room is already in good order before the day has even begun. You are not starting from behind. You are starting from a place of calm. I cannot overstate how much this one habit changed the feeling of my home. Not just in the evenings, but every morning when I come downstairs and find things exactly as I left them. Quiet, tidy, ready. The 9th rule, and this one I consider the most important of all, is simply this: every single day, do one small thing that goes beyond the routine. One thing that moves the house forward. This might be wiping down the inside of the microwave. It might be going through your junk drawer and pulling out 3 things that do not belong there. It might be cleaning the front of one cabinet door, or sorting the magazines on the end table, or clearing out the items in your refrigerator door. One thing, small, deliberate, takes 10 minutes or less. The reason this matters so much is this: a daily routine, no matter how good it is, maintains a house. It keeps things from getting worse. But one small forward-moving task each day is what actually improves a house over time. It is what prevents the slow accumulation of clutter and grime and disorder that sneaks up on us all. And here is what I have found after keeping to this habit for a long while now. After doing that one small task, I do not really clean my house anymore. I just tend to it every day in small ways. And the cumulative effect of all those small ways is a home that feels genuinely good to be in. Not a showroom, not perfect, but consistently pleasant, consistently mine. I want to leave you with something because I think it matters. There is a version of cleaning that feels like punishment, like something you failed to do well enough, often enough, like a judgment on how you have been living. I lived with that version for too long. The anxious weekends, the guilt about the state of things, the feeling that the house was always slightly ahead of me no matter how hard I tried. These 9 rules are not a cure. They are a shift, a different relationship with your home. The house is not something you clean. It is something you live in. And living in it well means tending to it gently and consistently, a little at a time, every single day. When you do that, really do it, for a few weeks until it becomes part of how you simply move through your days, something changes. The house does not feel emptier. It does not feel like less. It feels quieter, clearer, just mine in a way it had never been before. That is what I want for you. Now, I would love to know, which of these 9 rules do you think will make the biggest difference in your home? Is there one you've already been doing that you swear by? Leave it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I would genuinely love to hear from you. And if this kind of honest, practical conversation is something you want more of, please subscribe. I post new videos every week. I will see you in the next one.